And we are back, folks, for another interview with one of the top prospects in the country here on the Michigan Recruiting Insider. Michigan bringing in some of the top prospects in the country. An unprecedented slate of top prospects have made their way or will be making their way through Ann Arbor this spring. And one of them, I must say, I'm extremely excited about as I sat down and started watching film of some of the guys that were going to be making it through. This was one of the most impressive pieces of tape I sat down and watched. Out of the great state of Texas, a defensive back that is a throwback. He can run, he can hit, he can catch, he can jump. He can do it all on the football field. Mr. Chace Calicut. Chace, how you doing?
All good, all good. Thanks for having me.
Man, thanks for coming, man. Thanks for making it up this way.
Oh, yeah.
And come to find out, I didn't know this about you, but you said this is not your first trip up here to the state of Michigan, right?
Yeah, that's true. I came down here like 2 years ago in the summer for a little Detroit mega camp, and that's where my first time meeting Coach Moore and them. And it was a good camp. I showed out. They said just send me your film. At the time, I didn't have no film. I didn't start on my high school team. I just had 7-on-7 film. So they was like, once you get your film, as soon as you get some clips, just send them to me. And then I sent them my clips, and they just instantly started recruiting me after that.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Sound Mind, Sound Body, and Curtis Blackwell and the guys down there that put that camp together. You know, people think it's just about the prospects here in the state of Michigan, but you're proof positive. Prospects from all over the country come to that camp, get in front of college coaches and scouts.
Right.
And that was your sort of a launching pad for you to get known and get noticed for coaches all over the country, man. So what were your takeaways from that camp? What did you learn from that camp, other than obviously getting seen from coaches, but what did you learn from that camp that day?
Really just the exposure and the talent level that you can go anywhere and you could be seen, you get plays, you could play in front of, you can go play anywhere, and you got to play the same way you got to play everywhere else. So that's what I learned. You got to show out everywhere.
So you said you didn't have any tape.
Nah.
You didn't have any exposure, but you came to that camp. How did you even find out about it? What made you say, man, let me go to this camp up in the state of Michigan?
Coach Upton, he's a trainer coach down back in Houston. He hit my phone up and it was like, come, let's go down to this mega camp in Detroit. I was kind of iffy about it because like I ain't never been to Detroit. That's kind of far just for a camp.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, sure, let's just do it. So I came down, balled out. I ended up like with 8 offers that day. But Michigan didn't offer me that day. So I was like, I still respected it though. Like they don't just offer everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That would make sense. I like that. So, yeah.
All right. So clearly though, that was kind of maybe a starting point, a launching pad, if you will. You go back and you start really obviously getting on your grind, growing your game, and then applying it on the field. So take me into what you started doing on the field for your team. Oh, how did it go on the field for you that season, and then when did the big time offer started coming from there?
Yeah, so really spring ball, it was I had like 10 offers during spring ball. So then by the time like the first game come around, our coaches, they know we were highly recruited. They had highly recruited players before, so they tell us every day that you don't have any offers, you're not ranked, you don't have any stars, you just like everybody else, you just like the guy that's giving out water. So yeah, so that he put that in our head early. So for guys don't get big headed and stuff like that. So they keep us on.
All right. So man, listen, in order to do what you want to do, you got to be serious about your craft. You got to be putting in work. You got to go to camps.
Right.
In places like Michigan, you got to put in work outside of just practice.
Right.
So what about that piece of it? I mean, are you a guy that is, from a training perspective, doing that kind of work as far as working with trainers, going to a bunch of camps? And I mean, is that you outside of just practice with your team and that kind of thing?
Yeah. So I have a couple trainers down there in Houston. Justin Allen, Ja'Cory One Way. He keep getting my feet right. He does Matt Sertain. He did a whole bunch of NFL guys. Yeah, and they always tell me keep me low to the ground, always keep me in the lab, make sure I don't get big head with it.
I got you. So for people who haven't seen you play, Chace, I've seen your film, but a lot of folks watching this maybe haven't. So if they come to see you, pretend you're a coach or a scout in the stands and you're watching Chace Calicut on the field. Break down your game. Give me a scouting report.
Really, what type of player I am, you're going to see me do everything on the field. Like, it's not something I can't do on the field. You're going to see me come off the edge. You're going to see me guard the slots, go outside, play corner. I can do it all. So, and you're going to see electric plays. I'm a game changer. You're just going to see you're going to see some good football.
That's exactly what I see. I see a guy who could play every level of the defense.
Right.
I see a guy who can go out on the corner and cover guys. I see a guy who could be in the box and hit you.
Right.
I see a guy who could patrol center field. I mean, just a super versatile guy. So when you talk to coaches, I mean, are coaches telling you that they will use you in that way? I mean, give me an idea what the pitch is, because I mean, you got some coaches that are very conventional in how they want to use a safety. Like, you're a safety, you playing on the back end, but you're unique, at least in my view. I'm like, you're a chess piece guy. So what are coaches telling you?
Really, coach is saying the same thing you're saying. Whatever gets me on the field as quick as possible, that's what they're going to use me at. Whatever the team needs me at, that's what they're going to use me at. And I've always been like that since I was like a kid in high school too. Like, this is my second year playing DB. I've been playing wide receiver and quarterback my whole life. I got to high school, one day they just said, we don't have any DBs, we need you to come play DB. So after that, I came play DB, and that was it. So
and that's one of the things that I find most unique, is that defense is a mentality.
Right.
So a lot of offensive guys, they don't have that switch.
Yeah.
Where they could go over on the other side and give you that demeanor.
Right.
So where does that how do you have that? Like, how can you take that to the other side?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's been in me since literally with the Redstone Ravens. That was like in the Channelview Cowboys, my first little league team. I always played both sides. Always been that guy, just to never come up, never to touch the bench. Always on the field.
Okay, all right. So you said that Michigan sort of got your attention at the camp, but they didn't offer. But it didn't turn you off.
Oh yeah, no.
It didn't turn you off. So when did they sort of reconnect with you, or did they always maintain contact with you from that camp?
Yeah. They I got Coach Moore's number and everything. He said, as soon as you get any type of film, we're gonna offer you. And but it wasn't even like that. They came down for spring ball.
Okay.
To see me in pads, see how I moved, and that's where they offered me at.
Okay.
So yeah, it was more like, okay, yeah, we know who this kid is. We know he can move without pads. We seen him work at this camp. We just gotta come. I don't got no film though. That was the only thing. So they came down and seen me play in spring ball.
Okay, so but you also have had transition with defensive coaches.
Right.
Defensive coordinator change, defensive backs coach.
Yeah.
Has changed. So had that changed your interest level in Michigan, or was the fact that Coach Moore had stayed maintained your level of interest?
Yeah, Coach Moore, he stayed, and he was really a key piece in my recruitment coming to Michigan. Well, like being recruited by Michigan. But Coach Lamar Morgan, he came in, and then he stepped into recruitment real hard, and he actually sat down and told me he really wants me. So that was really respectable.
Okay, all right. So, but before we get too deep into talking about Michigan, let's talk about your recruitment more broadly. I mean, you're a Texas guy. Texas guys, the Texas schools,
yeah,
they don't typically just let Texas guys get away.
Right.
You know, UT, A&M. I mean, they fight hard for their guys.
Right.
And then even if you get past them, LSU, Oklahoma.
Right.
I mean, all the SEC schools.
Yeah, it's right there.
They all them right there. So what about, first of all, the in-state schools? Did you grow up a fan of either one of those schools?
Yeah, I kind of did grow up a fan of UT, but, I be thinking about, like, a little longer term-ish. don't be thinking about like, oh, I like that school when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
So I take that. I mean, they say the best leave Texas, like Devin, DeCorian, all them boys. They went up north.
They did.
So
They did. They did. So, big picture, as you sit down and you sort of game plan your recruitment, you got to have an idea of what you're looking for in a school. When you think about the factors that are going to play into your decision, what are going to be the things that go into that choice, the big factors that go into that choice?
really, on campus spring visits, I want to see how the coaches coach their guys, because they could say everything they want on the phone and they could tell you this and that, but I want to see how they actually hands-on coach and how they develop you into what I want to be as an NFL player.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see what coach could take me there to that next level.
Got you. All right. So now, as you've dug deeper into Michigan, because you came up here and you were at the Wayne State camp,
Right.
but this is your first time at Michigan.
Yeah.
So what have been your impressions of Michigan so far?
Man, I stepped in that weight room the first time. That weight room blew my mind. I've never seen a weight room as big as that, like lit up as that. It was nice. It was a nice facility. Same with the practice field. Like in the way they just run around and practice, the intensity, it was a good feeling.
And you've gotten a chance to talk to Coach Moore before, but it's different when you come in his domain, his environment. You sit down and you vibe with him face to face. What have your impressions been of him now that you've been eye to eye with him?
Yeah, he's a real respectable guy around the league and everything. He's a real family guy too, so I always gotta respect that. And he knows what it takes to take guys to that next level, and that's what I like about him the most. And he's a hardworking. He's a hardworking coach. He's gonna tell you when you're wrong. He ain't just gonna play in your face, just tell you what you want to hear. He's gonna tell you.
Okay. So now Coach Lamar, he comes in, makes his impact right away, whether it's with his guys that he coached or with you. Sounds like he's made an impact on you. So
Yeah.
what about him? What have your impressions been of him?
Yeah, Coach Lamar, he's good. He always hit my phone. We always be chopping it up on a personal thing, and that's what I like about him the most. He doesn't always call me, talk about football, talking about, oh, you're gonna come to Michigan, give him this, that. He just talk to me on man-to-man level, and that's what I like about him.
Now, what did he say about where you would fit in the defense? I mean, because that's one of the things about them. Like last year, he had a guy that played safety, played nickel, and then he ended up playing him at corner. So what did he say about where he would fit you?
That's exactly what he told me that yesterday. He showed me the guy film. He was like, you see how I put this guy everywhere. This could be you. Whatever gets you on the field the quickest way, that's what you're gonna do. And I understand that. That's what I like. Because I'm versatile. I could play anything.
Okay, all right. So have you gotten a chance as you've been here to interact with any of the guys currently on the team? Have you been able to talk to any of those guys at all?
Yeah, I went to the practice yesterday. So we was just chopping it up with like the DBs. They were telling me how like intense the practices be, but they be learning. Mm-hmm. That's what I like. They actually told me like the good things and the bad things about the practices and in the school.
Mm-hmm. Now, you see some of the guys that they brought in like last year, some of them on campus already, like Shamari Earls.
Yeah. And
then of course the big one, Bryce Underwood.
Yeah.
Right? Did you get a chance to meet or talk to any of those guys at all?
Nah, I didn't talk to Bryce. Nah. I played Bryce in 707 though.
Okay. What were your impressions of him? First in practice, and then what are your impressions of him as a ball player?
In practice, it was like he was throwing some good balls. Like he got the deep ball, he got the shorts, he got everything. He just looks good. Mm-hmm. That's what a 5-star is. I mean, but we played him 707 in Dallas, OT7. Man, he came out. We was like up like 2 drives, and then he came back on us, and then like it was tied up. It was like 5 minutes left, like maybe even 2 minutes left. It was like the last drive of the game. He just went like 7 for 7, just dotting us up. Like I was like, dang, he just won the game for them. It wasn't even nothing we could do about it because he was just putting every ball where it was supposed to be. It wasn't no slack in his game. It was
So it was like that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Michigan unofficial visit. What about an official? Have they talked to you about an official visit?
Yeah, I already set my official visit for the 20th to 22nd.
Now, do you have all your official visits already set? You know where you're going to go?
Nah, I only have Texas and Ole Miss.
Okay. All right. So do you have a timeline, Chase, for when you would like to make your decision?
Yeah, somewhere probably close to like in July, maybe like the 25th or something.
Okay. All right. So now how do you, at the end of the day, have you thought about what that final decision-making process is going to be like? Because for some guys, it's like a collaborative thing. They sit down with the people in their circle, and it's like, you know, we're having a kind of a back and forth,
Yeah, right.
a collaborative thing. For other guys, it's like I'm gonna get the input from the people I trust, and then they go off on their own and they make the decision. What do you think it's gonna be like for you?
Yeah, I think we all gonna sit down, talk about it, have a good family meeting, call the coaches up, have them sit in the meeting with us too, like on the phone, you know what I mean? And just talk about have any unanswered questions my parents have, they're gonna get them answered.
Okay. Yeah. So how comfortable you think you're gonna be distance-wise? I mean, you talked about DeCorian leaving. I mean, first DeCorian was gonna go to LSU. LSU was like gonna be close. Then he decided I'm gonna go far, right? So it wound up not being a thing for him. But what about for you? I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you could be big at home, or you could go far away. Have you thought about whether you would be comfortable with the distance?
Yeah, really the distance doesn't really affect. I really go anywhere to play football, so I don't think that's really taking a big toll in my recruitment.
All right. So final one for you, and then I got a question to ask you about family, but final one for you. Tell me what you like most about Michigan so far. And then tell me what the biggest question you still have about Michigan is.
What I like most about Michigan right now is probably their coaching staff. They so like open arms, welcome home. It feels right. So, but second question, probably like how much does the big household?
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a chance to talk to Coach Wink yet?
Nah, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
All right, and then the last one, I said, you know, about family. You don't do this on your own. You don't get here by yourself.
Right.
So what about the support that you've gotten to be on this grind and to get as far as you've gotten, man? I mean, that's special to get the kind of support that you've got.
Yeah, I'm thankful for my parents. They take me to every little league practice. They take me every training I need to go to make sure I'm right, and they don't complain about it. They always keep a smile on their face, and it's gonna pay off one day.
I hear that, man. So if we want to come down and check you out, give me a couple of games on the schedule that we should circle to come see you. I've seen the film. I want to see it in person. So what games should we come see?
Gotta come to. It's gonna be sold out. Chace Calicut, Summer Creek, and South Oak Cliff.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my rivals games. It's gonna be like that.
All right. We coming to see the show, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Chace Calicut, one of the best in the country. Appreciate you dropping by, man.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Another one in the books. One of the best in the country. One of the best athletes, players, regardless of position. Chace Calicut. Until next time, thanks for watching another edition of the Michigan Recruiting Insider.